Hey, what's up guys, NPS3D here and welcome back. And this time the tutorial is about to Element 3D. And this time I mean it, really I mean it. This time the tutorial is going to happen inside the Element 3D. Alright, so I'm recording the tutorial about Element 3D and this gonna be fun, right? And do you know what? I just renamed this project. This is Timelapse Illusion, right? And for this particular tutorial you just need After Effects and Element 3D, and if you have our latest Element 3D this will be great, because in a previous version, I mean the Element 3D version 2.2, there is a bug when you just apply a texture in a custom map. That time this will not seen, I mean this is not going to seen inside the Element 3D and maybe the After Effects also. So this one I'm going to use Element 3D After Effects, I mean the Element 3D version 2.2.2 really. So let's get started. So you can see this is happening here. All right, so let's get started, right? So first create a new comp, and this is gonna be a main comp. So just we can type illusion or just time lapse, and the resolution is going to be the 1920 by 1080. 25 frames I'm going to use, but you can use 30 and make it slower if you want. Just create a new solid and just rename it E3D. It's mean Element 3D, and I'm using FX Console. It is 100% free, so you can download it from videocopilot.net and just search here. This is just a search bar, just like the effect here. You search here, just like here. So select your layer, control space, and the FX Console here. So search Element 3D, and the Element 3D is here. So go to the scene setup, and this is very beginner tutorial. It's it's easy to learn. I mean it's easy to learn, and anyone who are using Element 3D just in 1-2 days and just about few weeks, so this is very understandable for that person, and the advanced person is the master of Element 3D. So I'm not going to talk about too much. So I'm going to decrease the segment and just select here the no smoothing, increase a little bit more, right? Something about here, and increase the radius to make it a little bit bigger, and the ring radius is also make it bigger. So press 2 and let's leave it here, right? It's good, and we can change it later also if we seen any problem there inside. So my English is not good, so let's move on. So this is first step. Just create a torus and make some torus changes here and just hit OK, right? And now let's add a new camera, and the camera going to be the very wide. So 50 mm is good enough, or just choose 20 mm, right? Let's press AA here and zoom, right? And press C on your camera and just go here inside. But the problem is you are seeing this, alright? So let me show you how you can fix it. So go inside again, scene setup of Element 3D, and select your torus model, select the material, and go very bottom to the advanced section. You can just directly go here, advanced section, and here is an option called draw back faces. So just click and hit OK, and now you done. All right, so come here. All right, and let me adjust a little bit more. So let's choose the 50 mm camera, right? And let's press AA and just zoom, we just down it, right? Something like that, right? Just make this camera angle, so looks good, right? So we did not add anything else. We just create a element 3D and just apply a torus, apply a material, and just apply a camera and make some camera adjustment. Right, done. You got it. Now the next part is going to be a texture map. So I'm going to use a texture map with 1080 via 1080, and this is gonna be texture illusion. So ILU, it's mean illusion. So the duration, if you are making a long, just like 1 minute, 10 minutes, something like that. So if your composition is about 2 minutes but your texture is only 18 seconds, so after 18 seconds the texture will be gone. So make sure when you are going to make any projects, that time the composition duration is equal to your texture duration I mean. So let's leave it 18 because I'm going to animate only 4 or 5 seconds, right? So hit OK now. Done, I think. And the next part is going to apply a new solid, alright, and this will be a checkbox. So control space again, and you can apply checkbox directly. Checkbox control, I'm sorry, it's mean checkbox, checkerboard I mean, and just make it whatever you want. But the problem is I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use cell pattern and invert it and go to the crystal and plates, right? Plates. Invert is something like changing the black into white and white into black, right? So I'm going to the down the display 0, and this gonna be checkerboard. But this time this is happening just like the fractal noise. So why not we can add a fractal noise here. So add a fractal noise and just blending mode to the multiply, right? And check contrast high and the brightness little bit more high, contrast down, something like that, right? Size we can just increase if we want. So brightness gonna be 70% and this gonna be 100%, right? Something like that. Complexity we can just down if we want, increase maybe 3%, right? Or just leave it by default what this is it, right? And we can just animate the elevation. I mean, just how can you animate it? Just press Alt on your keyboard and just press right click on this stopwatch icon and just apply a expression. Just press time star 200, right? And this the texture of fractal noise will be animated like that, right? And here size we can just increase or decrease, and tiling option you can increase the enable tiling and you can do changes if you want. So I'm just going to hide it, and we can also play again it, but for now just leave it alone and just type same the expression here also, the press time start 200 and done. Oh shit, let's go again, time start 200. Alright, now done, everything is done. Go inside the time lapse. And one more thing, I have a air cooler, one ceiling fan and one smaller fan inside my room, but I cannot play anyone because I'm recording with this snowball ice mic, and when I will open any of this the sound of fan also record. So you can imagine in this summer how I am feeling right now. Anyways, so go to the just drag your texture here. So in this one texture illu, right? Hide it, go to the custom layer, custom texture map and choose your texture illumination, I mean illusion. Go inside the scene setup and very carefully, just what you will do, just go to the diffuse layer of this torus model and just load your model texture, right? And go to the torus model again and go to the UV mapping and just choose to the sphere, and just type 5 by 5. Alright, hit OK and come down here. Alright, so everything is done, and now if I play, you can see this is playing like this, right? But let's the magic begin here, right? So let's see how we will adjust everything. So first lock this composition and double click the texture and just drag texture composition here, so we can just see both of these here, right? Make some room here also, right? So just check this one, right? And now what we will do, just add a animation on the offset of cell pattern. So just click on the offset menu and go to the 6 second and just increase this value like this, right? And press, not press in, leave it. And if I come over here, or just lock this one and just unlock this one and come to the time lapse and just play it. Let's see how this will look. Alright, we done our animation without any animation keyframes, right? So good, looking good, right? And we will do something more also, right? So just lock this composition and unlock this one and go to the texture illumination right here and make some more adjustment here. So go to the tiling option, enable tiling, and just choose 4 by 4. Alright, this looks good and this is okay. Alright, and another thing what we can do, just duplicate this layer, right? And just drag this one like this and press S, and not S, press T and just turn down the opacity a little bit. Alright, so you can see something like this, right? And go to the time lapse option again and just delete this, just cut this one. So I have a copy of this one, right? We will do more adjustment, just watch it. Alright, so just take a preview what we done, right? So just turn down the preview mode and just and let's see the preview. So something like this. Alright, something like this. So now the next part is go inside the scene setup again. It's too hot here. And select the model, alright, and just choose to the normal bump and choose the same texture for the normal bump also, and just increase or decrease. You can see what's going on here, right? So leave it like this. And also for the glossiness, same thing, but this one I am going to turn down this like this and increase the reflectivity a little bit, right? And hit OK. So now you can see it's totally changed. And you can see there's something anti-aliasing problem, so we'll fix it later also, right? So this is our almost about to end, but you can see looks perfect, right? And the illusion we created, right? So let's see how we can create the time lapse inside the illusion. So control save, it's very important, right? So now let's select the texture illumination and just duplicate this and go here and just read the first one, and this is the second one, right? So what we will do, we can leave it here, alright, and go to the texture time lapse and just drag your texture illusion to select the Animate 3D layer, custom layer, custom texture map, and select the texture illusion 2. Alright, and go to the scene setup, and let's see what I will do. Alright, so let's duplicate this torus model. Alright, and let's duplicate the material also and apply on the first one. Right, and this gonna be time lapse. Alright, and we will just press R and scale down little bit. Right, and if you hide the bottom copy, we can see a little bit. Right, so if you want, we can increase down the scale a little bit more. Right, so okay, it's fine. And if it will not look good, we can increase or decrease the scale also in later. Right, so what we will do, so shut down the first copy and open the first time lapse and just change the texture illusion of everyone. Right, and go inside the here blend mode and we'll just choose the screen. Alright, looks good. And what we'll do more, we'll go to the UV mapping sphere and we'll just put down in X direction to 1. Right, so you can see right now, if I just shut down the grid and we can increase a little bit more. Right, but it's, you can see the texture maps are very high, I mean very big, so we'll adjust it. Let me show you how. So this is the first one. Right, so let's lock this composition here and just double click the illusion of texture map 2, and let me show you how can we customize this with a small. Right, so if I just open the block right over here, and complexity will just press 1. Alright, so we can see now we have a smaller option. Right, alright, so it's done, almost done. And here we can, it's good. Right, so let's do like this and go inside the time lapse comp and go to the scene setup again, and just check the bottom copy also, and the first time lapse option, select the time lapse, go to the auxiliary animation and choose the channel number 2, hit OK. Alright, so for fixing this class problem, what we can do, we can just press C and go little bit enter like this. Right, and just go to the group 1 auxiliary channel and channel number 2, and here is the option called UV offset. Right, this one. So we will just add a keyframe here. So add a keyframe and go to the very after a 4 second, about to 5, and just increase this something about 4, and now this will be moved very fast right there. Right, so you can see this is something like, and if you think the first animation is slow, what you can do, go to the texture 1. Right, because in the first model we just apply the texture first, and just press U on the both. Right, because we just added keyframe, and here go to the select the first one and just apply 2500, and same for here, select this one and just apply 2500. Right, go to the time lapse, and now let's see this animation will be fast definitely, right? So you can see looking good I think, but more steps are here. So what we will do to colorize this, what we will do for coloring this object, right? So we have few methods, right? The first method is I just lock the composition, that's why if we enter here the text, this composition is not showing, right? So you can just lock unlock here. So we can apply a gradient adjustment layer, or just directly apply on this anyone, or just you can apply a tint effect, anything like that. If you apply the tint one and just add a color, so definitely if you come back here, so everything will be changed, but I'm not going to do that because I'm going to something different. So go to select the element 3D layer and go to the render setting, and here is an option called lighting, and we will choose the cinema lighting. Oh my god, I mean this is definitely looking good for me, and it's also maybe for you. And here is some more options, so you can choose aqua, product. Oh yes, this one looks good. 360 also, basic also, spot blue, stylize, and the dark, anything, so looks good. So I'm going to use the product, right? So product is looking good. And the next step is going to the physical environment, and here is your exposure and gamma. So we can just down the exposure if we want, right? And increase the gamma if we want, or just decrease the gamma, increase or decrease the gamma. Just 0.8 to the brightness, right? So this looks good for me. Lightening, you can just press 0 or just press 100. So I'm something around to the 52, right? And here is one more option called the ambient occlusion, and just check it and increase maybe something around 10 or just something around 5, and radius something about to 5, right? So before and after, right? So this looks good. And let me correct the camera angle a little bit more. Oh, just leave it, this looks good. One more thing what you can do, if you think the torus size is not good enough, so you can just back against the scene setup and just scale it a little bit more to make it a little bit bigger, right? And here is one more option called this fog, right? So let me show you how this will work. So we can just create some fog in back, alright? Let's turn down the opacity, and you can just change the color like whatever you want. So before and after, right? Before and after, right? So looks good. You can definitely change the color if you want yellow, or if you want something like orange. So orange, or maybe blue, or just something around like this one looks good for me. So hit OK. And done, everything is done. And just take a look what we made it. Alright, so this looks good, but let me show you, here are few steps are left. So let me show you for better rendering and something a little bit more. So this is done, right? And looks good. So you can see here is something like tiling problem. So there are options you can do it, but let me show you something different, or different what I mean, just apply your offset option, right? And just put in the middle, maybe the black, maybe the middle things just gone, right? You can see middle tile gone. So done, almost done, and you can see the black is too black and the white is too white. So you can just go again inside the here lighting option, and you can also go inside the texture option and just make white is something about to gray and black is something about a little bit down. So this will good. So this is done, almost done, or just done it. And let me show you the final thing about rendering when we're going to render. So go here and enhance multi-sampling, enable, and super sampling 2, and sampling and elevation, I just wrong pronounce, I know, and make it the full render, and done. If you want, you can just apply a adjustment layer and apply a coarse effect and just make it a little bit right. And if you want, you can just also add a 789 and just stencil alpha and make this cinematic, right? And let me play it again. Alright, so this is done, and thanks for watching this one. And this is so much procedural, and I know you are worried about the tiling, so you can just try to remove the tiling and the thing will be definitely perfect. Alright, so this is it, and this is so much procedural. If you want, we can just come back inside the texture and you can just change the texture and you will find a different result, right? So I don't have too much time right now. This is the idea, and I hope you like it. And if you have any tutorial idea, you can just put down in a comment box or just send me a message. So thanks for watching my video, thanks for loving me, thanks for supporting me. I am NPS3D, and we will see you next time with a great tutorial. So see you, goodbye, and we will see you next time. Make sure we will see you next time.